So now this looks like Rick is in a warehouse, but he's not. And that's the thing that's the most interesting about this. And we're at Lightcraft, and it used to be Cinetol. We used to call Cinetol was the name of the company here, and we showed this on an old Inside the Black Box many moons ago, and it has come so far. I mean, they brought it in. I think that they had to have like a moving truck to get the stuff in, and now it's this tiny little suitcase that all this stuff fits into. Now you're probably wondering what makes this so special. Well, what I can do here is I can move back and forth, and it's tracking that. Now it's looking at these little markers up here, and it's using that to register where the camera is. It's using that to figure that out. So when I go back and forth, I can also zoom in and out, and all of that in real time is you're able to key it and have it actually show up here. And if you look over here, see that registration? See, it's as if he's actually in the scene, and all of that stuff. I got to tell you, that's no trivial thing to be able to do that. I mean, we spend a lot of time doing that, and usually we do that in post. Doing it in real time is craziness. It's just craziness. And so being able to do this kind of stuff for digital sets. Now, where would you use this? You use it in digital sets for broadcast, but you also use it in previs and being able to, you got a scene that you're going to do, and you're going to shoot in front of green screen. You're going to set it all up. You could even use it in some production, but really a previs solution is just a great way to kind of have all that stuff integrated and make it all work. So once again, this is Lightcraft. So we're here at the Foundry, and of course the Foundry makes Nuke, and they've moved from making lots of little plugins to really doing a lot of stuff where they're taking high-end stuff that Nuke, for instance, came from Digital Domain, and they're making it available to all of us, which so we really like them because they're making these available. A lot of this stuff used to sit inside of these production companies and never see the light of day. Here's a new one that's coming out at the show here. I mean, we've seen a little bit of it, we've heard a little before the show, but this is the first time we were able to get to see it. It's called Mari, and Mari is, and this is actually the lead developer for it. He's now the product manager, Jack. And what it allows you to do is this is a 3D paint program. Now, it's not like ZBrush where you're painting geometry or Mudbox where you're painting geometry. This is designed to paint really intricate and high resolution texture maps on top of your 3D models. And while, I mean, and this is oftentimes very difficult work. It's hard to get around all the UVs and all the where the maps are meeting up and so on and so forth. And this is a very powerful way to do it. So here you can see the painting, and he's simply just painting on here. Now what it's doing is it's projecting that texture map. So it's doing a projection onto the surface. Now eventually it's going to put it into what's called a UV space. So it's going to drop that down into it. But while it's working, and you can see here, he can morph it, he can paint it in, he can either do it by hand or he can bring photographs in and work with it, and be able to, and here you can see a mesh warp, so this is going to allow, and a lot of what that's going to allow you to do is make sure that that texture really looks like it's going around the eyes or around an edge or around all these little bits, folds, all these little things that you got to put in there. This is the way you can kind of morph it and get it just right, and then bond it with the UVs. And so the crazy thing is when I saw this first, I was like, so how much is this going to be? And I was like wincing, waiting for $4,000, $6,000, it's $750. And so and it's not out yet, but it's coming out soon. $750, and this is for anyone doing serious texture mapping. This is definitely something they're going to have to check out. You can use huge texture maps and seamlessly kind of pull them all together and end up with something in any of your 3D applications, no matter where you're going out to for your final output. So once again, it's Mari by the Foundry. So we're here at Autodesk, and you haven't seen us cover much of Autodesk because Autodesk hasn't made a lot of Mac products, but they have now, and we have to give them props. I mean, I'm really excited to see some of this stuff moving because they're not just moving little products to the Mac, they're moving big products to the Mac. Of course, Maya was available, Motion Builder's on the Mac, Mudbox over here, 3D sculpting package, that's on the Mac now, and here is Smoke over here. So Smoke on the Mac, you got to get, Smoke is a big compositor. It's got all kinds of huge, powerful tools that are kind of 2.5D, a lot of stuff kind of pulling together, and being able to do this, it's the first time it's ever been available by itself as software. Now it is expensive, $15,000, but a lot of schools I think are going to be jumping into it because this is a whole different level of compositing that most of us don't get access to, most of us don't get to play with, and so I'm very excited to see some of this stuff coming to the Mac. I'm very excited to see Smoke on the Mac, and I'm planning to play with it a little bit myself. So once again, this is Autodesk, and this is some of their Mac products.